if this band is fatter than this, you might need 2 hooks, one, one side to the side, and but I think for something like this, one is enough. Okay, the hook is going to be set back 1/8 of an inch from the flush edge. Okay, all right, so we're going to put that on. Let me see, is that going to be? I think maybe I can be able to get this. Okay, sometimes when you do hand sewing, like I said, you can do some fudging around, like you can hide things. There's no really exact science, like I'm looking here, and maybe hook and eyes, you don't want to show knots or whatever, so what you do is, this is some little trick. I picked it up from quilting, but I think it's a good way of doing things. I just come into the fabric, into the band to where I want to be, like this. Okay, and then I don't make sure I don't lose that tail. Then I make a small loop like this, and then make a knot, and I hold on to that tail, and then there. So now I'm starting where I want to be. Okay, so now I can just cut that off, and nobody know where I started from. Okay, and then I put my hook over it like this to hide it, and then we make the stitches. Okay, so we're going to be stitching. See, there's holes, so you're going to put 2 stitches in each hole, and 2 stitches here, 2 stitches, 2 stitches, and then in the hook area here is a kind of a hook and a hook, but you want to catch. We're going to catch that hook area down. Okay, the book doesn't have that to catch, but this is really an important thing, so that there's more strength to all that stress that's on this hook. So we're going to tack down the hook too. Okay. Sometimes it's not that easy to catch it. Sometimes it slips out on me too, so I just want to warn you that you need to do that. Okay, so we're going to make little stitches. Okay, so 2 stitches per hole. Okay. If you want to keep it dainty, you can do 2 strands, and then sometimes the second stitch you would just go into the next hole. So you make 1 stitch in the hole, and then when you make the second stitch, and then when you go to the next hole, make sure you kind of dig into the interfacing, okay? Because that makes your hook a lot stronger. Because if it's just hanging on to the back of the fabric, it's going to be baggy. So get there without showing any stitches in front, okay? And then when you're taking your stitches, see if you can kind of catch that interfacing as well. Okay. So sometimes I have to check. I have a tendency to go through everything. Then you go to the next one. So just 2 little stitches per. Believe it or not, these hook and eyes can take, and the buttonholes can take time, and so I think it's kind of really not a good thing to save it for last minute, you know. I thought my girlfriend is a good example of what not to do. We used to do a lot of fashion shows, and one of the fashion shows that we used to do was like for simplicity, and what it was is we had to use simplicity patterns. I mean, it wasn't something we had to work really hard, but we had to sew these garments and model it to show the public what you can do. And so we tried to make it more interesting than just the envelope and things like that. And I remember we would be doing